creepy and scary TikToks that will keep you up at night.
What's behind us is the most complete pliosaur skull discovered.
It's got its teeth mainly still.
What's behind us is the most complete pliosaur skull discovered, probably worldwide.
The fact that it's got its teeth mainly still in the sockets, meshed together in the jaw, it's almost, unheard of.
They got two carinas, so sharp cutting edges. Ridges along the two faces of the sort of tooth there, supposedly to break the sort of vacuum. More advanced features such as these pits in the front of the snout. This is the top of the food chain. These are described as the largest carnivorous reptiles that ever lived, and certainly they were the mega predator of the Jurassic seas. The more fossils we find, the more evidence we can build on that. What's behind us is the most complete pliosaur.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JetskiChucK back on these dark waters. We gotta look out, man, because today we looking for the Leviathan. So yeah, you know how we get down. We try to react to the best creepy and scary TikToks we can find. So when we're on these waters, we gotta keep our head on a pivot always, because we don't know what might jump out. But I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Let's dive straight into it. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, because we hop on these dark waters daily, baby. Let's go.
Gigantic sea monster discovery on southern England's Jurassic coast. Take a look at this. Scientists unearthed the nearly 7-foot-long skull of a pliosaur. Many of its 130 teeth and dagger-like fangs are still intact. The 40-foot-long creature, longer than a school bus, was known as the ultimate killing machine 150 million years ago. Sweet dreams tonight. A gigantic...
Hey, I always sleep good, no problems. But anyways, what do you guys think about this, I know dinosaurs is a touchy subject, but one thing we can't deny is that the oxygen levels and the CO2 levels, the entire environment back in the day was vibrating on a higher level. And we can't even describe how nutrient rich the fruit and just the air was. People had a longer lifespan, because they were getting that straight organic air, the freshest air with no type of emissions. They didn't have all these beams and everywhere, radiation beams everywhere. But anyways, that's besides the point. But one thing we can't deny is that the vegetation in the early life was a lot more thrivable, and who knows what type of beast could be produced, or maybe these were created by the fallen angels, or that might actually be one of a offspring from the actual Leviathan itself. But regardless, we're going to get down to the bottom of this and find out every single possible avenue on these dark waters. Let's go. interesting.
Footage appears to capture the moment a prehistoric beast swims past the camera. At first, it looks like a shark, but as
Okay,
it
let's
continues,
go.
it appears to have rear elongated fins and ridges to its back. It is much larger than a shark, and is about twice the size of a killer whale, and resembles the fossils that have been found of a pliosaur.
But yeah, Buddy's gonna be a menace if he crocodile and a great white mixed. It's like a Nile alligator and a great white or a megalodon mixed. That's scary. I wouldn't want to be in the waters with that thing. It's like one chomp, it's over. It's no poking in the eye trying to figure it out. No, it's one chomp and it's swallow you whole. They going in.
See this whilst you're swimming. Get out of the water immediately. You did know there is one type of sea monster that actually exists. This creature is more terrifying than ever. See this whilst you're swimming. Get out of the water immediately. You did know there is one type of sea monster that actually exists. This creature is more terrifying than the Kraken, more dangerous than Jaws, and more mysterious than the Loch Ness Monster. What creature am I talking about? Leviathan. But who is Leviathan? Some people say that Leviathan is metaphorical, whilst others say Leviathan was probably a dinosaur, a marine reptile like a plesiosaurus. Others claim that Leviathan is the fish that swallowed Jonah, while some say that Leviathan is God's pet, and others say no, Leviathan is the devil himself. What do I think? Well, there's one thing I do know. If this great big sea monster Leviathan obeys God, why is it that you and I, as weak, fragile human beings, do the complete opposite? Ever see this whilst you're swimming? Get out of the
What if Leviathan's out there guarding the edge?
This is real. And look at all the intricate details. Look at this city. Now, I know there's a lot of maps that do talk about cities underneath the ice caps and even on the other side of these ice caps. And there's even maps out there, which I am going to show one. So could these maps show beyond the ice wall? And also, are there passages where you could get beyond the ice barrier as well? So let me know what you think about Antarctica. And if there was an exploration that you could get on, would you go to Antarctica? This is real. But look at all the intricate details.
Was that beyond the wall? Is that real? That is interesting if it is. I haven't seen enough movies to tell you this is from a movie, but that looks interesting. I would assume the building structures, if there was something beyond the edge, there would be building structures, or beyond the ice wall, there would be, the building structures wouldn't look like what we have. They'll definitely be on something else.
Alright y'all, the image above me has recently surfaced from the dark depths of the web, and it has the internet community buzzing. It seems to be a picture of a lone solitary sub traveling through the ocean, and it's completely unaware of the fact that this sea creature is following it. It's hard to make out exactly what it is, but it seems to have multiple limbs, and it is massive. Could this be one of the 86% of creatures
Godzilla.
unknown in the ocean? Could this creature have been the target of the recent 40,000-pound bomb set off in the Bermuda Triangle by the U.S. government? With the recent sinking of an Indonesian sub back in April that had been ripped into 3 pieces, it has people wondering what could be lurking in the depths of our oceans. It makes one wonder, with footage like the following, are the mythical creatures we once thought were folklore rising from the depths? Like and follow for more.
Let me bring you some breaking news reaching us at Sky Centre about this missing Indonesian submarine. It disappeared, didn't it? It was last heard of on Wednesday.
Moon, this is past the ice wall.
Pierdol. A kto tam z tyłu? Włos! Ja. No, no, on.
Stay tuned on my page. I'll be bringing lots of videos like this of the moon, pyramids, and planets getting past the outer walls. So this is a video of the moon.
As interesting as that is, seeing behind the moon, I don't think that was authentic. You know, nobody loves this. I mean, I'm sure there's people that love doing this more than me, or love looking at this type of stuff, you know, but I really enjoy this as well. And I'm telling you, that ain't it. We would have to be beyond the firmament and looking through the firmament through the moon in order to see the back of it. There's no way you're gonna be able to see the back just because you traveled further than Antarctica. They're all looking at the same thing. The question is once you get so far out of the solstice and the sun, what other type of entities are out there hovering above it, you know, keeping, you know, if we know, this is all speculation, if we know there's anything beyond the walls, if there's even more land, is it just our sun and moon, which I think it is. So there's no other way we could see something on the back of it like that. So I'm gonna have to say cap on that last one, but I really enjoyed watching that and the thought behind it that this all is just the back of it, but nah, that ain't it, man. That's just my take on it.
See, the thing about the ice wall is, this is what separates us from extraterrestrial creatures and extraterrestrial lands. They tell you the real world map looks like this, to divide us up and to make things look bigger than they are. But the real world map should look something like this. Each specific land has its own ice wall, and there are extraterrestrial lands and creatures outside of each specific land. The only reason they're coming out about aliens and ETs being real is only because ETs exist beyond the ice wall, not in space. And it's far more likely for ETs and other creatures to exist beyond this ice wall and to come to our land. And they know this, and this is why they have conferences about ETs, because they're not in space, they're beyond the ice wall, or really, really, really deep in the ocean. We're also in the age of Aquarius, so more information and unknown things will be shown to us. And they know that, they're just only preparing us for it.
You know, it is interesting to think that if there was ETs beyond the ice wall, would they be coming, or how they would be coming over to visit us? I know that there would have been multiple suns and moons in the Bible. So that's, you got to look at the solstice of the sun and moon. Do you really think it travels that far? You know, if you got these giant maps, we all seen the giant maps. One thing you got to ask yourself, is the moon and sun traveling that far to cover all these maps? If you ask me, no, it's not. It's a lot smaller. Those maps need to be a lot smaller. There's no Asgard. There's no floating island of Chemotep. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to think about it and buckle it down, you know. That's just my thoughts on it. But let's keep it going. Real quick, just to add on to what we just was talking about, the one thing to think about when you're thinking about those larger maps, with all the different islands beyond the wall, is that the sun and moon is never late. The sun and moon is always on time. You can expect us to put that hour back for daylight savings time, and you can expect that it's going to constantly go its course to the solstice. So one thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about these bigger maps or land or everything beyond the outer ice walls is the solstice of the sun and moon.
Man finds exit from the ice walls to the outside lands.
We go all the way to the sun.
Something to think about real quick. If you look at the swirls of the inside of the cave, I know in one of my other videos, a guy said that the inside of the arteries of a giant looks something similar. So if I were to throw up a picture of the inside of a human being's arteries, if you looked at the inside of the tube, you will see these same swells. I'm just saying, you know, it just looks similar. We don't know if this is an artery of a giant, dragon, or something else. You know, it's just something else to think about while looking at this cave.
Finds exit from the ice walls to the outside lands.
I gotta see this one more time.
We go all the way to the sun.
We need more footage of this. I need to see what's deeper down in there. It looks like a... What if that's a giant nostril?
This is a video of the moon. This is past the ice wall.
Pierdol. A kto tam z tyłu? Wąs! Ja. No, on.
Stay tuned on my page. I'll be bringing lots of videos like this of the moon, pyramids, and planets, getting past the outer walls. So this is a video of the moon. This is past the ice wall.
All right, this one was incredibly interesting. My first thoughts of for you to be able to see the back of the moon, you would have to be inside the firmament. And if you go past the firmament, that's heaven. So only people that can really see the back of the moon, I believe, is the people that's already in heaven. So let me show you why I think that.
How do we know that the moon is a sphere? Have we ever seen the other side of it? No. I will let my friend Karen B show you a little demonstration.
When something is round and too far away from you, you cannot say what shape it is. It can be a flat plate, it can be oblate, it can be concave, it can be a sphere. You just can't tell. Here are 4 objects. They all look round, right? But are they all spheres? How would we know? What if I told you that there is only one object that is not spherical? Can you tell what it is? Can you tell me how you knew it? How would we even know the distance? I can tell you that they are 100 feet away and you will believe it, but they can only be a few inches away.
And I can tell you that they are 10 meters in diameter, but they could only be 5 centimeters in diameter. You can never know using your camera.
Please look at them carefully. Here is the only object that is not spherical here. Here it is. I bet you thought it would be another one. But it will blow your mind if I tell you that this second object is also not spherical, and it's flat. And it will blow your mind even more if I tell you that this third object is concave. But how about this one? This is the only spherical object. We could have an oblate object and you would think it's spherical as well. So looking at something round does not mean it's a sphere. Have you ever seen the moon rotating in the sky? You have always seen one side of it, which makes it impossible for anyone to say the moon is spherical. However, using the word round is correct. A plate is also round. Look at this moon right here. Does it look round? Yes. Does it look like a sphere? Yes. Is it really a sphere? Let's find out. Well, it's not. It's flat. You got tricked again.
Now, if we look at the video we just watched before, they're saying they seen the back of the moon. So for someone to say they see the back of the moon, you would have to be behind the firmament. And I believe there's certain beings up there in a different dimension that's beyond the firmament, and we don't have access to that. So yeah. the Most High, of course. Historically, the fixed stars were often believed to exist attached on a giant celestial sphere or firmament, which revolves daily around the earth, and hence is known as a sphere or fixed stars, which acted on supposed limit of a whole universe. That's interesting.
I set up my 5-inch telescope using a 17mm eyepiece and took these snapshots. You will notice in the pictures, stars show through the dark portions of the moon. And as I go through them, I will blow them up a little larger so you can see these stars. I'll point to one. There's a blue star here, a white star. There's another star right here that shows up quite good. And that's that picture. Move on to the next one. You can actually see the stars here. Now we'll zoom in and we'll see a red star with a white star right in here. And then there's 3 stars, a white star, a blue star, and another blue star. And there's a white star pretty much over here. Okay, now this one here you can see the stars. 1, 2, that's pretty bright. Now zoom in on it. Now there's a red star, white star, showing through the moon, white star, and then a blue star again.
This is Deep Space Nine, by the way. I hope you guys can watch this and they don't let me mute it, force me to mute it. I hope you guys can hear this. If not, we're going to dive into this way deeper. I'll do a movie on this if I have to.
With another star over here. And we go further down, we see another blue star. And a white star. There's more stars that I'm picking up on this film. We do have 2 stars out here on the edge, but this is basically closer to the left side of the moon. Moving on, you can see 2 stars here. There's another star here, 2 stars down the bottom, and another star here. So we'll zoom that up for you. There's the one on the bottom.
How do we know?
Now, how is it possible you can see stars through the moon? And what else perfectly illustrates the moon going through its stages? That boy is going in and out the firmament. It shouldn't take all this. But if it does, so be it. Creepy TikToks that might just change your reality. Starring JetskiChucK.
Biogeology, the study of
Yes, we're going back there. Biogeology. Yes, we just seen the cave in the Antarctic. Yes, we're going back.
petrified fragments of giants. Now these are theories, but not an exact science. Could have this been the inside of a digestive system of a...
Tell me that didn't look like the cave we just seen. Say it, I double dare you. Say it out loud, I double dare you. Tell me that didn't look like the cave we just seen.
giant? Now, as you can see the diagram that I did bring up, and you can see the circular folds, and you can also see how identical they look. Now, could have this been the entrance of the large intestine as shown in the diagram up above? Now, if you look at the diagram of the large intestine up above, and to your left you see the cave wall, you can see the identical similarities to both of them. Now, could this cave just have been a digestive tract of a giant? Now, according to research, these so-called rocks have a composition of venous blood, which is a purple blood and has composition of iron, and on the back side of this rock you can see the uncanny flesh look to this rock. Now take a look at this trabecular bone and compare it to this. Now you can see the similarities to the trabecular bone. Now you can see a good example of this Swiss cheese looking trabecular bone, and in the channels you can see the red iron ore, and you might think this is just earth packed in from flooding. But if you look at this larger example, you can see that this is not earth, this is actual iron ore coming out of this trabecular bone. Now, could this be here the fragments of giant
iron ore coming out of the trajectory bone? Iron ore coming out of trajectory bone. How do you say it? Trajectory? I don't know, but it's the truth.
giants scattered all over? Now, as we get closer, you can see the different tissue of the surface of these so-called rocks. Now again, here I've added more examples of tissues just to show the different similarities to these so-called rocks. Now this rock has the uncanny look of a lung, and if you look closely you can see all the ventricles that would be visible in a lung. Now here is a diagram up above like that. You can see the different type of ventricles. Now just by looking at the lung diagrams and looking at the so-called stone, you tell me there's not a possibility this can be true. Now, like I said before, this is all theory, but after seeing this video, you'll probably never look at a rock the same. But could there be some truth in this theory?
This is all for entertainment purposes, of course. Do your own research on everything. But that is exactly what they're made out of. Y'all saw that? That looked just like a liver. Let's go. We got y'all in the headlock with this one. There ain't no escape. Aren't you curious what's on the other side? We know what's on the other side. And it tells us what it looks like. And I want to see it.
This is an out of focus star. This is an out-of-focus star.
You zoom in on any of those bad boys, that's what they're gonna look like. Slowly gonna bring it back so you can see it's an actual star.
There we go. That is considered.
So you guys might be asking yourselves, how is a star created and how is a star formed? Well, what if I said we can prove that theory? This is Dark Waters 9, so buckle up. If you don't want to enter these waters, exit this video now. But if you want to strap in and find out the truth, buckle up. Let's go.
It's a process called sonoluminescence.
The first time I saw sonoluminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid. And you look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye. It looked like a star in the heavens.
Seth Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave
Hear that? Sound
makes
wave.
the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently
Like a black
that
hole.
vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
We got y'all in the headlock. There's no escape.
What made the phenomenon so exciting was the temperature of this star in a jar. On its surface alone, the light burns at tens of thousands of degrees. And Seth Putterman now contemplated a tantalizing possibility. Could the core of the collapsing bubble be even hotter? Hot enough for fusion?
One of the mysteries of sonoluminescence is to determine exactly how hot the interior of the bubble gets. In the sun, the interior can be millions of degrees, hot enough to cause fusion. And the thought crossed my mind that perhaps inside the collapsing bubble, the interior of the bubble might also get hot enough to cause fusion.
If so, this would be something truly amazing. By simply bombarding tiny bubbles with sound waves, temperatures of over 10 million degrees would be created. And nuclear fusion, the same reaction that powers the sun, would be happening almost effortlessly here on Earth.
Hey, y'all thoughts below in the comments. What do you guys think about that, huh? Frequency to create a star, the moon sliding in and out of the firmament. Boy, oh boy, the pieces are starting to add up, y'all. Man, I love this episode, man. If you made it this far, drop the 100s in the comments so I know you real. I appreciate it, you know, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll get you guys on the next one. Peace. Creepy and scary TikToks.